so they had a crack tonight. What did you make of it?
Oh, we're really pleased that we bounced back from a really disappointing performance last week against Sydney. Like Sydney on top of the ladder for a reason. So we won't be the last team to lower our colours to them in the next little while. But Carlton were second on the ladder and formidable opponent, and we played some good footy to really serve it up to them. And Carlton, bounce to the ball, the decision here or there. It could have been a very, very different result. It was a 3-goal margin at the end, but it was an arm wrestle from go to O. The final margin was probably the biggest separating margin of the two sides for the whole day. So that's a real credit to our lads that we were able to hold in there for the fight. But we lowered our colours because the Carlton side, particularly in the third quarter, to their credit, they played a terrific third quarter, and but to our credit, we bounced back and just had a couple of horrible minutes at the end of the third quarter where they scored 2 late goals to give them a couple of goal margin. So we're pleased with the way that we bounced back, pleased that we were in that contest from go to O, but obviously disappointed that we just didn't have the polish to take some opportunities when they were presented to us, and Carlton were just a little bit better in the clinches.
When does the messaging sort of change from it's awesome that you proved to should have probably won that one?
I don't know. We just need to be, and young sides grow from opportunities like that to believe that they can be in contests. I mean, you're talking about sides. We got Geelong next week, who are in the Premiers a couple of years ago. We just need to learn to work our way through games, and it takes 4 quarters of footy, and we dropped away for a period in the third quarter. A lot of that was to the credit of Carlton. As I said, they're second on the ladder for a reason, and our players will just slowly build belief. Brisbane Lions knocked off Sydney today because they've built the belief over 7 years of being through these type of contests, and we're a younger side in the competition and know the path that we're on, but we just need to expose ourselves to those situations so that we just gradually get better. And from what I could understand of the Brisbane game, they started well. Sydney pulled them back and got in front, and then Brisbane, to their credit, just found a way right at the end, and that was pretty similar to today's game. But because we just haven't been in that situation often enough, when the heat really came, that's the margin that they put between the two sides. What's your question, mate?
Oh, so in the third quarter, you're just alluding to, what's your message to the players? Sort of a message in terms of at 3/4 time, because you could easily throw the towel in. You could, how do you talk about showing that resilience, that fighting spirit? Because you clearly showed it. I mean, you obviously took it to you in that, dominating that third turn. So.
Yeah, well, it was mainly the first 15 minutes of the third turn. To be fair, I thought we bounced pretty well in the last part of the third quarter, and that was reflected in the contest numbers. We just got smashed in the contest for about 12 or 15 minute period. De Koning got on top of the ruck. I thought that was a great contest all day between those two big beasts, and he was very, very influential in that first part of the third quarter. But we had our hands on the footy, and it's the pressure that they applied. We just coughed up the footy and gave it back to the Carlton side, and that was good play by Carlton. And but to our credit, we didn't have to wait until 3/4 time to get a message or to regroup. We reset ourselves from messages that they got from the bench or when they came to the bench, and we're able to get ourselves back into the contest where it was 12 goals each with a minute and a half to go in the third quarter, and then we just coughed up a couple of easy goals that one from just a dreadful mistake where Kurtz fell over, and then a centre bounce clearance to De Koning immediately after that. So we live and learn, regrouped in play, which is terrific for us, and hopefully we just learn from the experience and get ready for the Cats next week.
Alistair, putting Charlie Carlton forward, was that something you've been working on for a bit, or just because Lloyd was back you could do it? And what did you make of how that worked?
Yeah, well, part of it is because how we recruited Griff Lowe to our footy club to be a key defender for us, and an opening, ironically enough, occurred because of Griff going down, and we just wanted Charlie to get continuity with his footy, and he's had that behind the ball for the 2/3 of this season, and it just represented an opportunity for us with Griff coming back today. And I thought the contest between he and Curnow was a really intriguing duel. Curnow got a couple of frees and a couple of easy ones when we fell over and gave him a goal right on the goal line and that sort of stuff. But I thought the actual contest between those two over the course of the day was really good. I thought Core did a really good job on Big Harry, and so it's pleasing that those key position parts and Comben kicked three in the second quarter, and looked like a real threat for us in the front end, which is going to be important for us going forward. Whether he settles there or not, I'm not too sure, but he played a lot of footy there as a junior, and we moved him behind the ball for this year so he could get continuity with his footy, and we'll see where it plays out. Hopefully, Logue's capable of playing forward too, so hopefully those guys can become like swingmen and have the flexibility to play both forward and back for us.
Do you see a path where you continue with three sort of big guys? Because Teagle seemed to spend a little time there forward line, and do you see that, or is that just today because they were a bit smaller?
No, I mean these guys, the second ruck that you play, spend some time obviously off the ground and in the second ruck. So the time that you've got actually three tools forward to the footy, it's not as frequent as perhaps others would think, but that's become reasonably important for us, because when we only had two tools and one of them was going into the ruck, then it was just leaving Nick Larkey to be the sole tool down there, or we're playing smaller guys like Zerha and Curtis as big men. So we've made that alteration, and it's allowed us to just kick the ball with a little bit more depth into our front end, and that's helped us in the last few weeks. But we're gonna need to be better in some of those contests over the course and crumb the ball. I mean, Carlton, to their credit, they crumbed the ball from our inside 50 entries a little bit easier than what we would have liked. We applied pretty good pressure, but you need to apply elite pressure in that part of the ground, and they were pretty good at being able to defend that.
What did you make of those couple of free kicks towards the end of the last quarter? There was a 50-30 against Dusty Taco that looked a bit harsh.
Yeah, we're not allowed to talk about that stuff, mate, so just leave that to you guys rather than me.
Craig McRae spoke yesterday about that you can lose and still act like winners. Did you think your side did that today?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure what Fly's messaging is, but I just know that we're on a journey, and part of our journey is just learning how to compete consistently over 4 quarters. And we're really competitive for 3 quarters today, and just for a 15-minute patch in the third quarter, we lowered our colours to a good side, a very, very experienced side, and this Carlton side 7 or 8 years ago in exactly the same position as we were when Bolts was with them with their green shirts, just the youngest list in the competition, cut reasonably deep, and then just needed to give exposure to young kids to play the game and make the mistakes that they need to learn and grow in the game. And we're at that level, so but pleased that we can compete and enjoy those opportunities, but no, we've still got a long way to go as a footy club.
What area do you think the side's improved the most?
Mainly around our contest stuff. We've become much more competitive, but that's allowed us, I think, to be in games for longer. We weren't even in games in the first half of the year. Outside of being in front of Fremantle in round 2, don't think we're in front at half time in any of the other games. So at least we're in contest now, and against a good side like Carlton. That's the pleasing part, that we're able to compete. What we need to grow is just how we can do it for a little bit longer.
Is that also referred to at times you play so fast with ball in hand, transitioning the ball, but also being able to adapt and play slow and tempo that way that you want to play at times as well?
Yeah, it's a good point. The really good sides just know when to put it into overdrive and go quick, and when to roll it back into first gear. And some of that is just so hard. You just can't play in overdrive unless you've got total control of the game. You just can't play in overdrive for the whole game. So the really, really good sides know how to change the pace of the game. And I thought Carlton, for times of the last quarter, did that really well too. Just took the fizz out of the game, got some uncontested marks, and denied us the footy for a little bit there because we're obviously needing to get back into the game. So good sides do that. And as I said earlier, they've been through 7 or 8 years of hardship whilst they've learnt to become a really, really good club and a really good team, and that's why they sit second on the ladder, and that's what we're trying to chase.
Any injuries?
No, I don't think so. I think we're okay. Good on you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Alex.